Welcome to the Dugout from DawnNews English. This is our new podcast covering the global world of sports. And today we're going to start our preview for the 2026 World Cup hosted by the US, Canada, and Mexico. With me, our usual cast of characters, Izzy Khwaja and Mustafa Siddiqui. Gentlemen, how are you guys?
Just excited, man. I'm ready for the World Cup, man. It's been too long.
So, in the
Just
year,
anything to distract us from the state of our test cricket. I will do with anything, any sport.
no
Be
cricket on the
handball,
dugout.
netball, golf, whatever.
No cricket on the dugout. So, in the year of America's semi-quincentennial, 32 years on from the 94 World Cup, we have a second World Cup, this time co-hosted by our neighbors to the north and to the south. 48 teams this time. So, 12 groups of four, a lot bigger World Cup, a lot longer competition hosted by FIFA. And in the dugout, we will basically preview the groups, individual teams, and then as the World Cup commences, we will bring you game previews and reviews throughout the summer. So please join us. All right, gentlemen, let's start with, of course, the host nation, the US. Um, Back in the World Cup again, Maurizio Pochettino, ex of Spurs, as their manager. And some are calling it the best collection of US talent in quite some time. Obviously, Christian Pulisic headlining that, but between Weston McKennie, who
Hmm.
is he, your boy from Juve, Tim Weah, Tyler Adams, this is a good team. They've lucked out. They have an easy draw with Paraguay, Australia, and of course Turkey. They'll play their games in SoFi Stadium in LA and of course in Lumen's Field in Seattle. What do you think about the USA? And just to be clear, Pochettino is playing this hybrid sort of 3-4-2-1 approach. Take it away.
Well, I'll provide my perspective on Weston McKennie. He's been absolutely outstanding for Juve this year, playing in that. He's the Swiss Army knife of a Juve. Whether you need him to play as a fullback, as an attacking mid, as a central midfielder, he's technically very underrated. Like of all the American players I've seen over the last 2.5 decades, he is very technically gifted. He has a relentless engine, and he's already renewed with Juve actually. So we are glad to have him around because one of the players of the season for us. Christian Pulisic has been pretty good for Milan as well. There's a lot of Serie A influence as well, of course. So USA, I don't think that draw is that straightforward, to be honest. Turkey is going to be tricky. Australia is going to be tricky. Paraguay, if they have some semblance of what they used to have in the mid 2000s, they'll always be feisty, that South American chip on the shoulder as well. But I think it could go down to the final match day in this group. But I do think that US, with all the home support, is going to be quite raucous. It's going to be quite heavily one-sided because this is promising to be a very expensive World Cup for the overseas fans. So I think the US should about make it through. But they have good talent, like you mentioned, Timothy Weah, another ex-Juve player as well. Tyler Adams is doing well as well, and of course there is that Leeds winger. I can't quite remember his name right now, but he's a great prospect as well. I like a lot. I've seen quite a bit of him this season.
Yeah. Like I
And
think.
before you
Hmm.
go, Mustafa, just to remind our viewers that to qualify for the round of 32, it's the top two teams from each of the groups and the eight best third place teams. So you have, your 24 top 24 teams from the World Cup, from the 12 groups, and then the eight best third place teams that'll
Yeah.
go on to the round of 32. Go ahead. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt.
Yeah. I just wanted to feed into the Weston McKennie debate because, like, I also like how he's also a very a good goal threat, aerial goal threat, essentially, where like he can affect it very well. He knows how to arrive in the box late to be almost like a poacher, like in that attacking midfield role. And I really do like him as a player.
It
There,
was Brendan Aronson that I was thinking of. I just wanted to get his name
yeah,
in there as well. He's
yeah,
very good. He's decent.
yeah.
So, but with the US, though, obviously Balogun for Monaco has been banging goal. Brendan Anderson, as you
Mm,
said, for Leeds. But for the US, I feel they will go as Christian Pulisic goes.
Hmm.
In the last
mm.
World Cup, if you look back, he never really got going. He had his issues with Gio Reyna. The coach, of course, had issues with Gio Reyna. Um, the forward line as a whole, has been performing well. It'll be interesting to see how he deploys your front three in that 3-4-2-1 because he'll probably pick Balogun as that spear, the head of the tip of of the spear in the number nine position, and then he'll probably have Pulisic and Aronson either side of him. The one thing I do worry about the U.S. is their defenders are old. Um,
Mm.
they have a bunch of 30 plus year olds. It's going to be hot. Although SoFi is a closed dome stadium, so is Lumen's Field. Um, it's still going to be energy sapping as far as training and so on and so forth. So you do wonder about how that defensive line is going to hold up.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Let's
very
move.
true.
Go
Very
ahead.
true. I think an aging defense, but you can probably say it's probably banking on, a bit more experience as well. So it certainly will be tricky for the US. But I do expect, like you mentioned, with that best third option in this World Cup, I think they should make it to the round or to the knockout stage easily,
Yeah.
relatively easily.
Yeah, yeah, but like when it gets to the knockout stages and you have Pochettino, you kind of know what happens.
There's a lot riding on Pochettino. The U.S. brought him in,
Mm,
obviously for a lot of money. He had chances to go to club teams, both last
Mm,
summer and certainly there've been high-profile jobs that have opened up this summer. Manchester United, of course, are looking for a manager. He's been linked with them before, but he's chose to stuck it out. But I think if the U.S. doesn't progress to at least potentially the round of 16, there'll be a lot said. Um, about Pochettino because there is talent there. The U.S. does have enough talent. They've always been a physically fit team. They should
mm,
do well in this World Cup, and home support makes a big difference, as we've seen traditionally in World Cups. Let's go on to the next two teams. Iraq and Iran. Iraq, of course, this is their inaugural World Cup. They beat Bolivia in a some sort of qualifier, I guess, where Asian
yes.
teams play South American teams to make it. And in typical, let's bring some cricket into this, they have an Australian manager. So,
yes.
I think they're hoping to catch some of that Aussie um, skill set in ICC events, not in this case a FIFA event, to try and take them far. And of course, Iran are no strangers to the World Cup, but of course, this is a very different World Cup for them because of global issues. The one thing I will say about Iran is that they are lucky in the sense that two of their games are going to be in Tehrangeles. Of course, I mean Los Angeles. They'll be at SoFi Stadium, but there's a large Iranian diaspora who lives there. Your thoughts on Iran? They have Mehdi Taremi is a very good
Yeah.
player for them. He's performed wonderfully. He scored a bunch of goals in qualifiers.
Mm,
I certainly think I'd be more bullish on Iran. Iraq is one of those teams that's just happy to be there for the first time. But two countries that hopefully bring in a lot of supporters, and it should be fun to watch them.
hmm. The only thing that was funny, so like we're recording this on Thursday, so right, so they're supposed to have the Iranian FA is supposed to have a meeting with FIFA on Saturday to decide the
Mm,
conditions if they're coming to the World Cup because like there is a situation happening regionally around the Gulf
right.
and that also involves America. And there's been a lot of tenacity, especially from Donald Trump, who was first very bullish about them not coming in, and then later he said, uh, let them play. And it's a very confusing situation, which I don't remember the last. Like I don't remember the last time this type of situation happened in a global world event. Of course, we have seen this a lot in
In
cricket.
1998, there was a lot of heat around this fixture as well in France, I remember. Then
Yeah.
they had the exchanging of roses and this and that. Of course, Iran won on that day in 1998. Mehdi Madavikia getting the winning goal. What a player he was back in his pomp, especially. I think he spent a bit of time in England, but played primarily in the Bundesliga. He was great. It's certainly not that golden generation of Iranian players anymore. They've gotten old now. It's only Mehdi Taremi, even he's in his mid 30s, but he has that experience playing for Porto, playing for Inter Milan, now at Olympiacos. So he is certainly that when one superstar in their side. All of the other players are primarily Iranian based, especially in the domestic football, so we don't know a lot about them unless you follow Asian club football that closely. But certainly is very strange. And the geopolitically, diplomatically, how do they handle it? Like Doc mentioned, they're going to be playing on US soil as well. I would have thought about perhaps shifting the games to Canada or Mexico, but seems like now with less than a month to go in the tournament, they're going to Tehrangelis, as Doc has called it.
Yeah, I think logistics changing anything will be tough at this stage. Let's move on to Group J, Jordan. Let's
Mm,
preview them. Again, this is their debut in the World Cup. They're another team that plays 3-4-3. They've had some success recently. They were
yeah.
runners up in the 2024 Asia Cup. But a tough group with Argentina. They actually play a game in Dallas. They're also in with Algeria and Australia in that group. They also play a back three at the back. A lot of teams in world football, for some reason, like the three at the back. I think it allows them to have some wing play, some defensive solidity, and for a lot of these smaller clubs, three at the back allows them to play a lot more as far as on the just soak up the pressure and hit teams on the counterattack as opposed to a traditional 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
What?
three center backs, you have those two wing backs who are helping them out. So it's basically a 5-3-2 at most times.
Yep.
Plus, they will push
Mm,
forward slightly as well. Jordan have been having a great run, like you mentioned. Were runners up in the FIFA Arab Cup as well to
yes.
Morocco, and
Very
they've
good
been playing
team.
some wonderful cricket. They've been really decent in West Asia recently. So wonderful to see them, a small nation, at a FIFA World Cup. So it's certainly a massive achievement for them.
Yeah, because the last 2 years they've been good. Because if I'm not wrong, Sadi, they won the Asia Cup in 24.
Correct.
Yeah. They beat Iraq 3-2, and then
Yep.
they lost to the Arab Cup in
The FIFA
Up
2020.
Arab
into
Cup, they lost to
Morocco.
Morocco.
FIFA
Yeah,
To
in
Arab Cup
Morocco
extra
in the
time.
final.
to Morocco, which is who Morocco, of course, are the AFCON 2025 2026 champions, of course.
Champions, correct.
Champions, of course, of
We'll
course.
come to Senegal later, but
Oh.
they may have something to say about that. Let's move on to Group A, South Korea. Of course, they were
Mm.
semifinalists in 2002 when they co-hosted the World Cup with Japan. Um, Spearheaded, of course, by young son of Spurs. He has dropped off a little bit, but that this is a good team. When South Korea and Japan hosted the World Cup in 2002, I expected that by now, almost 30 years in, they would have kicked on a little bit more, and they haven't. They have players, their players play in Europe. It's just that it seems that their national teams really haven't kicked
Mhm.
on to the next step, whereby they routinely make the quarterfinals and so on and so forth. They're in a group with Mexico, South Africa, and of course the Czech Republic.
Mm.
Not an easy group, but they should be looking to be at least in those top eight third place teams with that. Your thoughts on the South Koreans?
So as much as I did like enjoying Sun play, I think the person I'm most interested to watch in for South Korea is the Bayern defender Kim Min Jae.
Kim Min-jae.
Yeah,
And Jin.
who is a fantastic player, right? Who like he is
He can't start for them, unfortunately. He's on the shopping block apparently, but he's a
Yep.
beast.
he's a very good player, and
I
he is
remember 3 years ago where Manchester United wanted him, but then had to settle for Matthias de Ligt.
yeah, and
Mm.
we like he has an amazing long ball. Like he has like it's a very good long ball. He's a very good player. I'm very interested in to watch him. They also have Lee Kanyan who plays for PSG, of course.
Mm.
So I still feel like they have enough players, they have enough technical players where they can be able to contain possession. But if for them, it might actually be smarter for them to, especially against big teams, to play on the counter, because you have people who can play out the back, who can hit the long ball, and you have decently pacey players.
Plus, they'll always fit. They'll always run hard. They'll always play as a team.
Yeah.
So I think bare minimum best third, they should definitely make it into the knockout stage. Relatively easy. It's not that tough a group for them, in my opinion, apart from Mexico.
Moving on to Algeria in Group J with, of course, Argentina and Australia. Like I mentioned, Algeria, of course, we remember in 2014 where they all in the round of 16, I think they almost beat out Germany, the team that eventually won that World Cup in Brazil. We remember that big victory. Algeria, lots of Premier League talent. Riyad Mahrez, of course,
Hmm.
Eight Nouri, um,
Mm.
and of course, Dortmund fans, those who watch the Bundesliga know about their fantastic defender, Ben Sebaini. This is a team that could at least come second in that group behind Argentina. I certainly see them potentially beating Australia and maybe sneaking a point or beating Jordan as well. This is a dark horse that could easily get themselves into the round of 32, and they have experience in FIFA knockout games. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely. Even though Mahrez is a bit long in the tooth, I think he's 35 now,
Yep.
but he will be that inspirational player. Like you mentioned, Riyad Eight Nouri is there as well. A lot of Ligue 1 players as well. So they certainly are competing at a high level. I think Hussam War is with them as well. If I'm not wrong, I might be uh, wrong guessing that, but I think he's still there to add that class in midfield. He was a great Silken player when he was in France. Now he's playing in Saudi. But if he gets going, and of course Riyad Mahrez, if he can be that talisman, definitely they should be second in that group.
Yeah, because their group is just like what it's Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan, right? So like,
Yep.
it should be a very like they're all like they're not nothing. They're very decent international side, right? And like I'm not saying this in a bad way because like for a lot of these teams, this is their first World Cup,
Yep.
right? Right? Because it's like this is the World Cup was already the biggest sporting event ever, right? It's the biggest sporting event you could have. They've just made it more massive now, and it's now also happening over three countries, and those three countries are in North America, where like bigger is bigger. Nothing is as big as it is in America almost, but like it's gonna be interesting to watch. I think they should be fine. Mares is still guileable, so they should be fine. That's what the guileable.
What does guileable
But
mean?
guileable, he has guile. How that's a better
He's
way of
not
saying it.
gullible, but he's guileable. And
Guileable.
of course,
He's
Ismail
got
Ben Nasser Ben Nasser, he's a very good player. He's of
Yeah,
course
yeah,
played for
yeah.
Milan as well, holding mid. They have good players. They have a lot of players in Liga and Nice. You've got a lot of Bundesliga players, Leverkusen, Schalke, Charleroi, Marseille. You've got Amin Jouairi, who's playing for Marseille as well. He's been decent. So they have good depth and good talent. I think they'll do well.
Let's come to a team that's a bit of a dark horse, Senegal. Very interesting team in a very interesting group with France and Norway. Not necessarily a group of death, but a group of interest. Senegal, of course, the true African AFCON champions. Of course, they beat Morocco and then later were stripped of the title, but they have talent up and down the roster. Sadio Mané, of course, and Dai, who plays for Everton, Nicholas Jackson for Chelsea, Idrissa Gueye. This is a good team, and we just saw them play tournament football in around Christmas at the AFCON, where they went all the way to the final and then beat Morocco. It's a solid team,
Mm.
and they will be raring to go. They should absolutely make the knockout stages, either coming second to France or maybe even one of their best third place teams. I don't see Norway necessarily beating them, but again, it's just. They had a meltdown in that AFCON final where the players walked off. If they can get their mental aspect of their game together, this could be a dangerous team.
Like they just have a very good all-around team, right? Because then like they have very like having Mane there and like so like there's a great amount of like so when they did walk off, right? Having Mane there, being a leader, saying that no, we will beat them on the field. We don't need to do this, right? Like having like that's a stalwart. That's like you can't buy that type of experience anywhere, right? And it's just they just have very good players. They have Adrissa Gay. They have so many like they have a lot of very decent
Ismail
players.
Assar, Mamadou Sarr,
So
Haji Malik Diouf, Edouard Mendy.
like they're very solid
They
team.
They're
it
they're
would be a
they're
shocker if they
stacked.
don't finish
It's
second here.
Like
correct. They're
Yeah.
this,
they are stacked. It's a
that
very good team.
Like Norway is frisky with Haaland and some other
Yep.
boys as well. But
yeah,
if they don't finish second, that will be it all hinges on that game with Norway
yeah,
basically. Iraq is going to get the wooden spoon in this group
yeah.
surely.
Yep.
Do you think outside of like let's say the European giants and the South American giants, right? They probably have the
Mm.
strongest team on paper. Like they probably do, right?
They have a lot of depth in that team, a lot of
Yeah.
proven
Mm.
talent who have played in the Premier League
They
at a
play in
good
a very
standard.
cynical way. It's not all about, they know how to win. They play in a very
The
European
dark
style, even though they're an
arts. Yep.
African
Yeah.
team. Yeah, yeah,
Yep. Very much a Simeone type team. Almost they should make him the manager. All right, let's come to the current champions. Argentina, of course, champions in 78. Mario Kempes, champions in 86. Diego Maradona, finalists in 1990, with Maradona beaten by West Germany on a controversial penalty. And then champions in 2022 in Doha, where that was the Messi show, although a lot of people still say the refs sort of and FIFA conspired to hand it to him. So this is not a vintage Argentina team. Obviously, you still have Messi, now plays for Inter Miami. He's not the same Messi as he was,
Yeah.
but they have talent. Julian Alvarez, of course, up in attack with Messi. I do worry about their defense, Licha
Mm.
and Romero. When you
Yeah.
have your defenders as Licha Martinez, who can barely stay healthy for Manchester United, Christian Romero, whose team are probably going to get relegated in Spurs for
And
the
who
I think
can't?
Otamendi
Premier
still
League.
starts for Argentina. He's still
Otamendi still
starting.
starts. Now they have Alexis McAllister, obviously for
Yeah.
Liverpool. They have
We have
Enzo
too many players.
Martinez, who plays for Chelsea, and of course Emi Martinez for Villa in goal. Still, who was a character in 2022, as we found out,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
especially in penalty shootouts. But this Argentina team, I don't think they do as well as 86 to 90, where they won and then reached the final. I think they will struggle.
Yeah, I think they'll obviously make the knockout stages.
Yep.
I think that's a very much a given, right? But like, do you think? I think this could very much go in the way of like their 2018 campaign, right? Where they just met a much more better all-around team in that France side, right? Because that 2018 France side is one of the greatest international sides I've ever seen. Like it was well not
And it was
greatest.
pre-prime as well, most of
Uh,
them.
yeah, and they were stacked, right? And that's like there are teams like that, yeah, currently, right? Where like they'll just face because in 2022 they were arguably the most stacked team out of anyone, right? And this is not that team anymore.
I don't know. I think the France team in 2022 was very good, and they
No,
were
no, no,
unlucky
no,
to.
no. No, I completely agree with you. I'm saying arguably, right? But I'm saying compared to 2022 and now 2026, right?
Yeah, it's not as
The
good a team.
it's not
Of
as good
course,
as
Messi's had a drop off as well. It's not the
yeah,
same Lionel Messi that it
But they still
was.
got very exciting players like
They have
Marco
young
Senesi, who's
players.
having a wonderful
yeah, yeah,
season.
yeah.
Nico
Correct.
Paz, he's been brilliant for Como. Then you have the class of Enzo, Alexis McAllister, so on, so forth. And, Rodrigo De Paul is there. Cristiano Romero is still a good player. You've got Nahuel Molina, who's been really good as well. Julian Alvarez. I mean, it's like anything less than a semi-final, I feel, will be a disappointment for them.
Yeah, I
You think they're one of the top four teams in the world? I don't know about semifinal with Argentina. That to me that defense worries
yeah.
me with
Let's say
Otamendi,
quarterfinals,
Licha.
bare minimum. Bare,
Yeah,
bare, bare
quarterfinals, I
minimum.
agree.
Yeah.
I think with Licha Martinez, Nicolas Otamendi, and of course Christian Romero, I do worry about that defense.
Yeah.
And
I think Senesi will have an important World Cup. They need him to do well because he's younger,
Yeah.
he's fitter,
he
and
is,
he has a
but
point to prove as a free
Emi
agent.
Martinez isn't the same Emi Martinez either. He's had a very up and down
True.
Yeah,
year
he's
with
been
They've
Villa.
always had a problem with
can I
weird goalkeepers, even
can
though
I
they
say
found some
Correct.
can I say one
in
more
that
time
period.
how glad I am that Manchester United bought Sene Lemons over Emi Martinez.
Uh,
Like
it
like
was
he's had
probably
a
the
very
buy of their season last year.
Even
yeah.
after that goal he conceded to Liverpool.
Even after that goal,
Even
yes.
after
All
that
right,
goal,
let's
even
move on to the Dutch. Of course,
Mm.
mm,
finalists in 74, finalists in 78, the Johan Cruyff teams, and then finalists in 2010, which was the Van Gaal team that lost to
yeah.
that all-conquering Spanish team. Um, a good team, Gakpo, Koopmeiners,
Van
Rangers.
Dijk.
Noah Lang, Tiani Reinders,
Let's
Doniel
hold off on
Malen,
the Liverpool players, but Rangers, of course, Gravenberch, fine, I named a
Van
Liverpool
der
player,
Ven is
but
brilliant class. Love him,
Mickey Van
man.
de
He's too good.
Ven for Spurs, Frankie De Jong from
Uh,
Barcelona, and Ronald
Matthias
Koeman's
Delit
not
if
been
he is
there.
fit enough ever.
He's not going to be there. But and of course, Ronald Koeman's been the
He'll
manager now
be
for a
there.
while. he'll be there on the bench or in the stands. He's not going to
Yeah.
be playing.
Yeah.
Koeman's been there as a manager for a few years, so they have a set
Mm.
system. They're in an easy group. We're in Group F with Japan, Tunisia, and Sweden. By easy, I mean it's tricky, but they should navigate
Tricky
that group.
teams. I would say
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
Japanese have
they
Japan is a
been
they should
Japan
around.
be
is a
able
very
to.
Japan is a very tricky team, as we found out
Yeah,
in
but I
2022.
I think there's enough there with the
Yeah.
Dutch. They have a lot of
I think 4 years
creativity.
on, they'll be a lot better
They will
from
be better 4 years
2022.
on. I give you that. That the 2030 World Cup team will be better, but they have a lot of young
No,
talent
I
in this.
mean from from 2022 because Gakpo, Dumfries, De
Correct. They're
Jong,
all
they're all pretty
much
young.
they're all
Yeah,
much more established now. I mean, Frankie De
Yeah.
Jong is now basically a senior citizen almost in that midfield when you
yeah.
look at
Mm.
Danny Rangers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
So one, but like we do need to mention one thing is that Van Dijk's form has taken a horrible turn this season. He was very much the reason that Liverpool won the league last year with Salah, because they, like, Salah and Van Dijk were able to put on like legitimately great seasons for them, right? And both of them, especially Van Dijk, in my opinion, has gone down such a level, and there's a lack of leadership that I've seen from him this season, where he is consistently blaming everyone else but himself. Where
Yeah,
like
but you got Mickey Van der Ven in his prime. You got Nathan
yeah,
Ake, who's only 31.
yeah,
They
but
have decent
but
options.
he's not the same player as he was pre-injury.
yeah,
Virgil van Dijk. I'm still old enough to remember Liverpool fans thinking he was better than Terry
Vidic.
and Rio and Vidic and so on and so forth. Of
We're
course,
not
he's
even
doesn't
talking
make
about Yapstam. Yapstam is the best Dutch defender I've ever seen.
to me, Virgil van Dijk's not even a top five central defender of all time in the Premier League. Just Premier
It's
League,
not,
No,
huh?
it's barely
no,
top
no,
10.
barely.
Come
It's
on.
That's what I'm
barely
saying,
top 10.
guys. I
I
agree,
can
but
name like 7 or 8 Italians
You talk
right
to
here off the
Liverpool.
spot.
You'd talk to Liverpool fans, they'd say in the Premier League he's top five all time. Anyway, enough with Holland. Let's go to Turkey. Back
Mm.
after 2002, they beat Kosovo.
I don't know
Obviously,
how to do Yıldız's star thing, but he's my guy.
obviously Arda Güler, who plays for Real Madrid, who's
Mhm.
he's a very good player. Not again, they're in the same group as the US with Paraguay and the Aussies. Where Kalnoglu, they have a lot of players with a lot of experience playing
Mm.
um, in Europe. They're not,
Yeah.
they're used to this. They will have raucous support um, in their games. Where do we see Turkey in this World Cup?
Just one.
Well, their attack is brilliant with Arda Güler, Kenan Yıldız. You've got Barış Yılmaz as well. He's a brilliant player. I like their attack as well. Hakan Çalhanoğlu as well. He has a bit of an injury concern. He's been in and out, but of course, once again, his Inter Milan have won Serie A. So in attack, they're stacked. Then you've got Ferdi from what's the name of that club again? Brighton. He's
Hmm.
a decent player. I really like him. The
Uh,
inverted fullback. Zeki Çelik of Roma as well. He's a decent fullback as well. It's just the back line I'm just a bit worried about. But Turkey are not there to make up the numbers. I think they can come in second or even top the group here if US underperform.
Yeah.
and of course, AZ is a Serie A fan. You know that they have a very experienced manager in Montella as their head coach as well. Ex of Fiorentina, he's been
Yeah.
Milan's coach, so on and so forth. So he knows how to get these players up.
Do you think like Güler will appreciate not being in such a toxic dressing room after this year at Real Madrid?
I mean, Real Madrid, that's been a weird year. It'll be interesting to see.
Valverde has a brain injury. I was reading
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
absurd.
I mean, he got punched a
Temporary
little bit with
amnesia.
Chouamini, and it'll be fine. Jose will
Let's
come
hope
and
so.
sort them all
That's
out.
what I
That's
said.
gonna be
That's what
so
I'm thinking.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It'll be
Mourinho,
box
he's
office
back.
to see Mourinho next year with
Yeah.
Real Madrid.
Yeah.
He'll win the league as
Finally,
well.
La Liga has some juice, man. I'm so bored of
100%.
this
Yeah.
Barca reign.
Yeah. So no, they're in a group with who again?
The
Turkey with.
US, Paraguay,
Turkey,
and Australia,
Australia,
right?
Paraguay, US.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they should be fine. If at least if they're not second, they'll have enough
I
points to
feel
get.
you guys are underrating Paraguay because if they made it directly, not so some hook and crook.
No, no, no.
Paraguay were
No,
frisky.
no. I'm saying they should make it, if not a second, but at least as a third place finish. I think.
Yeah, I would expect that much bare minimum. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Güler should be able to carry them. In World Cups, you often see
Guler,
these.
He's
individual
not such
brilliance
a
is
like the go-to guy. I think Kane and Yildiz, you have to watch out for him and Hakan.
correct, but you
And
can get
Baris is a brilliant player. He's too good.
a we've seen this in World Cups where one player gets hot and he can carry you. We've
Yeah.
seen this.
James Rodriguez, biggest
Ham
example.
James.
Yes,
James,
exactly. Yes.
James.
But you
uh,
look at
what he
players
should have
who
been.
players who never did a single thing after the World Cup. They got hot in the World Cup. Toto
No.
Schillaci
Mm.
for Italy, and in 1990 as well. It's one of those weird things. All right, enough of the team
Harry
previews for
Kane.
Harry Kane in
Yeah.
2022, Golden Boot, of course, as England fluked themselves to a World Cup semifinal. We'll come
Yeah.
to England on a
Yeah,
different day.
indeed. Yeah.
Um,
That deserves an episode all on
Oh,
its
I
own.
swear to
let's
God.
let's come to a question I have for you guys. 48 teams,
Mm.
too many?
Yes. Way too many. Way too many. 32 was ideal.
Get
I agree. 32 was nice and easy. Eight groups of four, top two made it. None of this permutation combination.
Okay,
Top
32
eight.
was the sweet spot. I mean,
yeah.
48 with what? Curacao, Cape Verde. I
Yeah.
mean, with all due respect to like Jordan or whoever,
Yeah.
it's too many, man. It's way too many.
Way
It's
too many
Because
already
games.
such a slog. Now you have 4 matches per day.
yeah,
Come on, man.
you have four matches. It's still a month as well, right? So you just have like four matches every day, which you have to.
FIFA's grade is absolutely unhinged.
Yeah, I mean, FIFA's greed has affected the well, New York is already the
And the
greed
problem
capital.
is logistically it like removes basically it excludes like two continents. Like
Yeah,
Africa will always have a toil hosting 48 teams and even Asia,
yeah.
like I don't really see maybe if
Well,
it's
the
Korea,
20,
Japan,
you
if
know,
they collaborate,
the 2030 World Cup is a pan-continental World Cup. You'll have games in Uruguay, you'll have games
which is even more
in
absurd.
Spain
It's
and
so
Portugal,
absurd.
and you'll have games in Morocco as well. Well, it's because it's the 100th anniversary of the first World Cup, which was held in Uruguay. That's why.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Uh,
still.
no, it'll be. I love the World Cup. I can't wait for the World Cup. I
Once it
remember.
starts, we'll all get into it, but 48 is
Yeah.
a lot of
And of
people,
course,
man.
follow us here at the Dugout. We will be bringing every game, every match. Even if we don't watch it, we'll make it up as if we watched it. We'll be there to offer you the post-match review on Jordan versus Austria when that happens. Any last thoughts, gentlemen, before we do this, wrap it up and we do this again shortly?
I'm just worried about the exorbitant, and the ticket prices
Mm,
if how they will manage the fans. Of course, the US has such a massive diaspora, plus all the South Americans will be coming in, Central Americans will be coming in as well. So, of course, the stadia will be full, but how accessible and how expensive it is, time will tell.
yeah, and also like it's just like not just the World Cup ticket prices, like the New
Well, I'll tell you
Jersey.
here, for example, in Dallas. So in
Yeah,
Dallas, you have England, Croatia, you have Argentina plays a few games. I think you have Sweden playing a game. The game is going to be played, of course, Cowboy Stadium, AZ's team. Can't call it Cowboy Stadium or AT&T Stadium. It's called Dallas Stadium. But Dallas Stadium is in Arlington. Arlington is 30 miles to the west. There's one road that goes to Arlington. There's no public transport. So, and of course, Dallas in July and June it's going to be hot. So good luck to
Mm.
people.
yeah.
Uh,
There was a report.
the actual World Cup fan hub is going to be in Frisco, which is about 35, 40 miles to the north and to the east of where Dallas Stadium is. So it'll be interesting to see how people make it from one place to the other.
No, because like I
Jer
was.
Jerry Jones, by the way, takes a helicopter from the Dallas Cowboys training facility in
Of
Frisco
course
and the
he does.
Star over to Arlington, but
Of
not
course he
everyone
does.
can do what Jerry Jones
Of
does.
course, of course. But like I was actually reading a report that was done where like there's a serious everyone is genuinely scared because you're asking players to play 90 minutes in like what 42,
No, it's
43
covered. It's an indoor stadium.
indoor
It's air
stadiums. Yeah,
conditioned.
it's air conditions, but you're also outside. It's bad for fans. It's bad for everyone. It's not like you're they have to get out of the stadiums eventually as well, right?
Yep.
It's a lot of I can see a lot of cases of heat stroke happening, like because of the hot cool.
Well,
Yeah.
my offices will be open, so come on down if you have heat stroke and chest pain.
You can inflate your prayer rates as well.
Yeah.
There we go. Unfortunately, we can't do that, but yeah, no, it'll be a fun World Cup. Looking forward to it. Of course, it starts second week of June and goes all
Once
the
the
way till the
action begins,
19th.
it's all forgotten. It's all
Then
about
we'll then
what's
we're
going to
Absolutely.
then
happen.
we're
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember we were worried about 2018 when Russia was going to host it. We were worried about Qatar in 2022. These were all wonderful World
How much
Cups.
was made about the Brazilian World Cup in
Yeah,
2014?
yeah.
2014 about whether they had the infrastructure.
Oh,
They
the
had that
players will
one.
get robbed.
Or but
It's
Correct. And they
garbage.
had that one stadium in the Amazon in Minaleas,
Mm.
right? But went well. It's a
yeah,
beautiful game. The
like the
only
first.
thing
FIFA
wrong
knows
with
how
that
to put
World
on a
Cup,
show. We know that
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
correct. The only thing that went wrong with that World Cup was Brazil got hammered by the Germans
yeah.
7-1.
I mean, and like
What a
also,
game.
yeah, but like I also think they also finally got some nice, good people. They saw how bad the World Cup songs were getting, so they decided to call in some reinforcements.
And this one is still absolute garbage, to be
All right,
fair.
so I have one last question for you guys. The last time the US held a World Cup 32 years ago, that was the World Cup of Romario, Roberto Baggio, Bebeto, and Hristo
Yes.
Yeah.
Stoichkov. Name me your four players
Mm.
that'll be remembered from this World Cup. Who is your
Oof.
Mount Rushmore of four players who will be remembered from this World Cup?
That's such a tricky call
Question.
because there's always,
Uh,
I
How
think,
about we
what's his
think
name?
about it and we
Desiree
answer it
Doué.
at
What's
the
his
end?
name? The PSG guy?
Desiree
He's a
Doué?
monster, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, Is he even
Like
in the World Cup?
you'd pick him over Kylian Mbappe?
Mbappe is, he had his moment
yeah,
eight
I
years
think.
He
ago.
did in
Yeah,
2022,
yeah. Okay,
but he's due another
you know,
moment.
there's we're going to eventually get to the team, and obviously he does play for mine, Sadi Bhai's team, so I've seen what he has done for us.
Bruno?
I do think Bruno does have that type of lifting
Bruno
effect
Bruno
on our team.
Fernandes.
Bruno for
And
Portugal is not the same as Bruno for Manchester United.
yeah,
That
I get
Portugal
that.
team
I
runs
completely
around
agree. I
one
get that.
man, one man only. Who
Yeah,
is
but
due, by the way? He's never had a aha moment in a World Cup, by the way, Cristiano.
I think Haaland, the way, yeah, of course, Norway don't always make it to World Cup, so he'll be really
Yeah,
super hyper
Haaland, but
motivated.
he's in a tough group with France and Senegal.
yeah,
Yeah.
Although Haaland might rack up 5 goals just against Iraq.
yeah,
There will
So
be some stat padding for sure in this World Cup. Out of
yeah,
control stat padding.
yeah,
of course, Italy not making it to the World Cup.
Yeah,
yeah,
we've been trying to backdoor it with Iran perhaps coming, not coming, but looks like that's a pipe dream.
yeah,
And to be fair, who wants to come that way? I wouldn't mind, to be honest, being a Pakistani Azuri fan, but we're used to, you know, loopholes and stuff. But yeah, very disappointing that Italy, once again,
yeah.
they've done
Do you,
so much soul searching, but they don't have any solutions. The talent is just not there. The cupboard is bare, to be honest.
So
wi-
they're, of course, Euro champions. They beat England in the Euros at Wembley. Should a Confederation champion get an automatic entry into the World Cup?
yes,
There
but
should be something like that. Well, that should it would add extra
Right?
value to all these
it
AFCONs and Asia Cups and all
it
that. I
makes
You're playing
completely
all
sense.
these
agree.
games.
It makes sense, but at the same time, if you are that great, you
You
should
should
pay.
make it.
You should make it by yourself without any other things.
They had many chances, right? They
There are
lost to
many
Bosnia
chances. There are many
in a
chances.
qualifier. In
Yeah,
both the leagues, you had the group stages where they didn't make it, and they had to beat Bosnia in a qualifier, and they couldn't do that either. I just think that the Serie A is not the same Serie A as
Oh, it's a niche league now.
yeah,
Only if you love Italian football, like from the get-go, you watch it. Otherwise,
yeah,
there's no incentive to.
yeah.
I think that ref scandal by a certain club wrecked Serie
Yeah,
A.
yeah.
That was nonsense.
That
They
kind of
don't
I
have
that
think
money.
the
It's
the
it's it's a matter of
downfall
economics.
of Serie A started from that.
all the good
Nahin,
players,
nahin.
all
It's pure economics.
in the
Pure
in
economics.
the 90s, every single world class player that I could name.
Because it was economics, because they were overpaying. Every club had a billionaire owner who was willing to spend anything. When that
Yeah,
thing goes up, then
yeah. Now,
that's the way it
but
is.
I have a question for you guys. We'll get onto it when we preview that team. Do you think it's finally coming home?
It's not coming
I,
home.
mean,
Let's
I
move
really
on.
hope. I say this with a lot of English friends. I really hope it
You don't
doesn't
have
because
they don't have a right back. It's not coming home when you don't have a right back.
yeah,
Ben White's injured.
What's his name? The Newcastle boy,
Trent
the Italian
Trent
one.
is not gonna. I don't
yeah,
think they bring Trent back. And
Trent's been a non-factor this season.
Tam Tuchel is not exactly your manager who's going to be your first manager since Walter Winterbottom to win a World Cup.
Yeah.
So sorry, since Alf Ramsey.
No, but the Italian British guy who plays for Newcastle, what's his name? He's a right back.
He is. I know who you're talking about, but not Lewis Hall. What's his name?
No, that was the left back.
Kadiamuto or something. What's his name? Newcastle
Yeah,
right
but
back.
he's not. They'll probably stick one of the central defenders out wide
Yeah.
instead.
They'll probably. Do you think they might just put Declan Rice there?
Livramento.
Yes, Livermore.
Arsenal almost played Arteta almost played Declan Rice right back this past game against West Ham over the weekend.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, he's becoming almost a non-factor in midfield at times. So put him in defense, I say.
But we should digress.
My question is, who wants to buy Anthony Gordon? Who's going to buy Anthony Gordon?
We'll discuss this. We'll discuss this later.
We'll discuss the three lions that are.
Let's save it then.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Thank you.
All right. See ya.